Hello comrades and welcome to Pandemic Sewing 101 video number 10. Continuing with fasteners, we're going to be doing a hook and bar. Now the hook and bar we're using are a skirt hook and bar. This is the type that we use most often in the costume shop because they're really strong. You can see there's a lot of metal in them, but they're also really flat so they don't add a lot of bulk. And we put these at the top of pretty much every zipper we put in the costume shop. They work really well to stabilize waistbands. So a hook and bar in general, not just a skirt hook and bar, works with lateral tension. So if you have two pieces of fabric that are pulling across each other laterally like this, going across the body, the hook will hook into the bar and that tension will hold it shut. And as long as there's that tension, it's not going anywhere. Now, a hook and bar is totally useless on something that's loose because without that tension, it just will wiggle free and not hold anything. And so for that sort of thing, we would use a snap, which will be the next unit. So we're going to start with our hook. And you're going to thread your needle just like you've threaded it for every other activity we've done so far. And when you set your hook on your fabric, you'll see there's a little arrow next to the line. You're going to set your hook with the front of the hook, so the part with the hook bit, facing that arrow on the line. So that's what it's going to look like when you start. And you're going to come up from the back of the fabric. Can you zoom in, please? Into one of the holes on the little ear coming off the side of the hook. Then you're going to take a tiny little bite of the fabric right near where you came up and go back through that same hole. And you're going to do that about 4 times. You can pause. Once you've got your 4 stitches around that first hole, you're going to travel in between the layers of your fabric and come up in the next hole. So that's what it looks like when you're taking the stitch from the front. And then on the back, that stitch where you're traveling is not showing because you're in between this hem fabric and the main fashion fabric. And then you're going to do the same 4 loops on this next hole. So 1, 2, you can pause. So once you've got your 4 loops on the next hole, you're going to travel between your layers of fabric to the hole that's on the tail end of your hook. So this travel is in between this hem and the main fabric. So you're traveling a distance, but you don't see that stitch on the back side of your fabric. And then you're going to do the same thing. So through the hole, bite of your fabric, through the hole. And on this one, you want your thread to go all the way across that hole. Pause. So once you've got your thread all the way across this back tail of the hook, you're going to travel between your layers of fabric to the next set of holes. And then you're going to do the exact same thing on this side of the hook as you did on this side of the hook. So once you have your thread through the last hole of your hook, you're going to pass it through to the back side of your fabric and you're going to knot it off like we've knotted off everything that we've done so far. And that is the hook part of the hook and bar pair.